Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to go over 2 cute and easy Halloween cards. Let's get started. For both cards, we're going to work with the Too Cute to Spook stamp set from Simon Says Stamps. I'm starting off with a panel cut to 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I'm using my Tim Holtz mica spray stains. I'm using green, orange, and purple. These are great colors for Halloween. Unfortunately, these are no longer available, but you can use any kind of spray stain in these colors to create this effect. All the supplies I'm using will be linked over at my blog, www.dreamcraftcreate.com. Once I have those sprayed, I'm coming in with my main stamp, which is going to go in the center of the card. I'm using Intense Black ink from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm putting this down in my stamping platform and using my pressure tool in order to get a good and even stamping. This is done on a standard US A2 card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm using a top fold card, but you can use whatever kind of card you have. Once I have that done, I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to come in and I'm going to die cut my panel that is sprayed with the stain. Here you can see I have the super cute Ghost 3D embossing folder from Simon Says Stamp. This was just recently released and it is adorable. I'm using the Magic Mat from scrapbook.com. I find this works really well. I just got it and I've been trying it out. I really like it. And I'm coming in with a circle die. This is a stitch circle die from Simon Says Stamp. I'm cutting out the center of a piece of craft EVA foam. This is going to help pop up my panel on my card. And then I'm going to use my stained piece of cardstock, and I am going to also cut out a circle in the center of that panel. This is still very damp. I should have used my heat tool to dry this, but I was doing this essentially in real time and my time was limited, so I just kept going. So I cut out the center of this panel, and then I'm going to put it in that adorable 3D embossing folder. When you use a 3D embossing folder, you just want to make sure that the side that is popping up goes on the bottom of your paper. That way the ghosts will pop through your paper and it will give it a beautiful 3D effect. You also can do it the other way. I just happen to prefer it this way. That's going back through my die cutter, and I'm using 2 pieces of cardstock as a shim and the base platform. Look at that. It is so cute. I love how the mica in the spray stain gives that glimmery effect. It works really well with these 3D embossing folders. Now I'm coming in with my dot runner and I'm going to adhere my panel to the craft EVA foam. I didn't quite get my measurements right here because I was eyeballing the circle. So I just come in with a pair of scissors and trim off the extra foam at the top of the panel. Once I have that adhered, I'll go ahead and do that trim. If you're enjoying this video, please do hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I have lots of tip and trick videos as well as tutorials just like this to share with you. Once I have that done, I'm going to bring in my USA 2 card base and I'm going to adhere that panel over so that it's centered over our greeting that we have previously stamped. This is such an easy card. I did this essentially in real time. You guys could do this really quickly if you want to do it for, someone sweet in your neighborhood or some friends or family. Really easy to do. You could do it with any kind of 3D embossing folder. It does not need to be these little ghosts. Here I'm going to go in and embellish the card with a little bow. And then lastly, I'm going to come in with some enamel accents from Ranger and Black and put a few little dots at the top and a few down on the bottom, and that's it. The green, orange, and purple really works well on Halloween cards in particular. And so if you have any kind of shade in green, orange, and purple, that would work well. You could do this also with ink blending. You can use Distress Oxides or Distress Inks would work really well here, or any other kind of ink pad that you have. Now that that card's finished, we're going to go on to card number 2. We're going to be using that same stamp set, the Too Cute to Spook from Simon Says Stamp. And again, I have a US A2 card here. Now I am going to use a bunch of the ghosts from that set on this card, as well as all of the stars. So I'm going to put ghosts in each corner. Our card is going to be laid out very similar to the last card, where there'll be a circle in the middle. So I have a ghost in each corner, and then I'm going in with these little stars and placing them in the blank spaces around, just keeping in mind that I'm going to be cutting out that center area. When you're working with really small stamps like these stars, sometimes it's helpful to have some type of tool in order to help get it off your finger. So if you have any kind of weeding tool or jewel picker or anything like that hanging around, I suggest using it when you're working with those really small stamps. Once we get those stamps adhered to the platform, I'm going to use my fingers to really make sure that they are adhered down, because those small stars, they are tricky. Coming in with Simon Says Stamp ink in Intense Black, I'm going to make sure to get those stars really well inked, because they are so small and some of them are solid. So this is a brand new stamp set, and it requires a little bit of extra time when you're working with a new stamp set. Using my pressure tool to get a good and even amount of pressure across all the images. And you can see that one star was a little too close to my magnet. So I did move my magnet and come back in with a second stamping of the ink. This ink is my go-to ink when I am using black ink. It also works really well with Copic markers. Get my second stamping down there, and I'm really putting down that pressure because I want to make sure that those stars, particularly the ones that are solid, get down fully onto my card. Now I'm coming in with a small strip of paper, and I'm going to stamp our sentiment, which just says boo. I thought that was fitting with all of our ghosts. For all of the card bases, as well as the panels and the sentiment here, I'm using Nina in 110 pound. This cardstock works really well for bases as well as for panels. I do also have 80-pound cardstock that's Nina that I use as well. I'm going to go ahead and clean off my space here and bring in my die cutting machine. And again, with the Magic Mat from Scrapbook, I'm going to just lay that circle in the center. And first I was going to use a bigger circle, but then when I realized how much of the stars it was going to cut off, I decided to go down one size. Having the circle as your focal point in the center of a card like this is a really easy way to create balance in your card. And it gives you automatically a place to put your sentiment, which is really nice. This set is such a nice set. It comes with a lot of different greetings. It comes with a bunch of little ghosts. I only scratched the surface using the stamps that I did in this video, so I'm looking forward to making a lot more cards. And you could also use this set to make, little treat bags or the things like that for Halloween. Lots of different uses. So now I've die cut out my sentiment. Now we can adhere everything to our card base. And I have separately cut out a piece of black cardstock. This just needs to be big enough to cover the hole behind your card base, so that way it's black when you're looking through from the front. Now I'm going to take that leftover piece from our original spray stain panel, and I'm going to cut it down one size smaller. I'm also going to cut down a piece of craft EVA foam so that this center circle pops up out of the card. Anytime you're making a card, you want to make sure that you have balance in the elements that are in your card, and then you generally want to have some type of texture, pattern, some type of shine to it. That way it has more dimension and is interesting to look at. Now I can adhere all the pieces of my card together. I think this looks super cute. I started off with my dot runner, and then you're going to see that I actually run out of dot runner. So then I come in with Gina K Connect glue. These both work well for adhering panels. I find that the Gina K glue smooths out really well underneath paper. A little goes a long way with this glue. You don't need a lot. And we're just going to center that in the center of the black circle so it pops out, and then we're going to adhere the boo. If you don't have craft EVA foam, you can also use foam squares or foam dots to accomplish the same thing. I thought the black and white ghosts were very cute, and then you have that pop of color in the center. This boo in particular, I think, looks nice, kind of offset at an angle a little bit, not straight horizontally. Now I was looking at my card and I just felt like it was missing something. I felt like it needed more stars. And you can see this is a trick that I recently picked up where you just put that small stamp on the tip of your finger and then you can tap it into your ink pad and you can press it down, give it some firm pressure. It works really well for these tiny stamps like this, and it's a lot easier than trying to put it on an acrylic block or to bring back in your stamping platform. I do 3 more large stars that are solid, and then I'm coming in, I'm going to do 1 more star that is just the outline to balance the right side, and you're going to see that it really makes the image look full by doing that. Anytime you have a card with minimalist design elements, it's really helpful to put in a lot of little filler. You're kind of creating your own background paper. And I'm going to come in with my bone folder, and that's it. There's our finished card. So cute. I love it. Well, everyone, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. These cards are just adorable in real life. They have so much shimmer and shine. They would make anyone happy to receive. I hope you'll give this technique a try and share with me over on Instagram at DreamCraftCreate. Thanks, guys. Bye.